Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Teresa Micheletti, the Marketing and Social Media Manager for the Cyrcle phone and company Detour. And over to this side of me is Christina here. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Teresa.
So, what we want to do is Christina's going to show us how to use dependencies in creating something that you want to be personalized to how it works in your life. And frankly, I don't know what that means. So I'm thrilled to learn from Christina. So I'll turn it right on over to you.
Great. Thanks, Teresa. So today we're making kind of a mock-up of a nano SIM card, really tiny. And this will be important for you if you ever want to make a SIM card tray for your phone. So for example, they're very delicate pieces, and frequently people, when they're inserting their SIM card, can snap them. And so it's helpful to be able to make a SIM card tray so that you can use a SIM card in your phone. But first we have to make a mock-up of the SIM card to be able to build around it. So this week we're just working on building the SIM card. So let's get to it. And I'm going to go ahead. Do you mind sharing out my screen?
Of course.
And, and then first, actually, can you please, sorry, Teresa, could you please go to the yegi.com link for us and show us that? I just wanted to show everybody kind of the resources that are available in the 3D design community for not only SIM cards, but SIM card trays, and then also tool SIM card wallets. And it's just in our private chat. The link is there.
Yeah, I've got it open. Let's see. This might kick yours.
Okay.
The image you've got, but you can share. Yeah. All right. So here is NanoSim, this website.
Yay, fantastic. Okay, so this is Yegi, and Yegi is just kind of a repository or a link list to printable 3D models. So you can get them on Thingiverse and various different other places, but this is kind of a reference tool for all those different repositories. So as you can see here, we had nearly 2,000 hits on a nano SIM card, and they have really, thank you for scrolling too, they have wallet cases, they have SIM card trays that people have already designed and printed out. Although I have to say that in my experience, for the SIM card trays, they're available for older phones, but not so much for the newer phones. But there are models here that you can definitely capture and then use to design the size that you need. So yeah, so I'm really excited about, I didn't find this resource when I first started making SIM card trays. So I just had to look on the individual websites. So it was really exciting for me this morning as I was preparing for our AMA today to see this resource of all of the different ones and how many hits it got. So thank you very much, Teresa.
Of course. So you ready to jump to?
Yes.
Working on, all right, here we are.
So this is what we're building today, and obviously it's fairly simple, but we're going to go over some techniques in Autodesk Fusion 360 to make your life easier as you are building more and more complex designs. So this is actually the design here already in Fusion 360, and I forgot, I actually do want to share out this picture of the nano SIM card dimensions. So let me see if I can do that.
Stand by. Well, in the interim, I hope everybody is having a good day. in general, feel free to find us on any social media that's linked below and get in touch. Tell us what you think, what you're about. So, just in general, always good. So here is the image Christina wants to share.
Great. Okay, so this is actually some standards that were set down purportedly by Apple to kind of the governing requirements. And these are the measurements that you need for designing the SIM card itself. And we are actually going to ignore these copper pads today. And the reason why is because they are just guides for the actual full-size pad. And I'm hoping that you can see this now. That is on the actual nano SIM card itself. So you can see, I can show the nano SIM card that I have here today. Hopefully that's showing in the calendar or in the camera. And so it's basically just one large copper pad. I think originally they thought it was going to be individual pads, but the reason why they have the individual pads is so that in the connector, there are pins that actually touch those particular square dimensions on the nano SIM card. So you want to make sure that your copper is covering those, what do we have, 8 pads right here. So the dimensions that we're worried about today are actually from end to end, so this length, which is 12.3 millimeters, and then also the width, which is 8.8 millimeters. The other dimension that we're concerned about is actually this notch here, and it comes in 1.65 millimeters from both edges, so that we can form this 45-degree angle. The last dimension that we want is how rounded these corners are, and the radius of these corners is 0.8 millimeters. So with those dimensions in mind, we're going to go ahead and create our SIM card. And I'm sorry, was the image showing up? Okay, let's see. Sorry, we were having all of my browser windows are crashing this morning, and so we're having to work around that. So I apologize that this is looking a little awkward right now, but we will.
Yeah. I'll check this out. Yeah. And then
Okay.
just let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
So, like I was saying, you can find us on lots of different social media sites. And we would love to hear your input because the phone's not done, and we'll talk about it later, but we have an enclosure contest happening, so you can help us customize the phone. So we want to know what you think and what you're looking for in a phone. But here we are.
Okay, so we're ready to go. Here we go. Here's the top. So if you go ahead and click this mobile here up in the right-hand corner, you can click top, and we're looking at everything from the top of the axis, the top of the Z-axis, looking down onto the Y-axis, which is in red, and the X-axis, which is in red, and the Y-axis, which is in green. We're going to construct an offset plane. And so in order to do that, we click Construct, Offset Plane, which I've selected here. And then we select which plane we're in. And I'm selecting the one that is in XY. So I don't need it to be offset. So 0 is fine. I'm going to press Enter there. I'm going to right click on this new offset plane and create a sketch. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to design the SIM card. One way is the way that I use when I'm just slapping something together to 3D print it to use in my house. I really don't care about dependencies. I just make it as I think about it in my head, not necessarily how the Autodesk Fusion 360 tool works best. So here's how I just think about it in my head.
So we're going to go ahead and design a rectangle here, and we're going to enter in the measurements that we had before, and those were 8.8 width and 12.3. So this rectangle, and you can see it's a really small rectangle, but we can just go ahead and enlarge it. And then what I do is I know that I have to make a corner notch right here. So what I do is typically just draw a line, another line here, and I know that it is 12.3 minus 1.65 for the notch. So it's so great because Autodesk will allow you to do math right there in the dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see this dot right here is where this line is ending. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here from here. And it's 8.8 minus our 1.65 notch. Because this is how I think about it in my head. I need a rectangle, but then I need to cut out this notch, and then the notch is in this approximate position. And I could have actually gone, now that I'm talking through it, I could have actually gone from this corner out, and that would have sufficed as well. So here we have the corner that I need, but then I need to really remove these two lines here. So I use the trim tool and remove those. So this works great when you're just blocking out a design that you want to just quickly print and get out of the way, and it's not a very complex design. But what we just did here, and you can see this warning, I don't know if you can see the warning on your side, but warning comes up and it tells me that I've kind of ruined the dependencies on these two lines. And the dependencies that it's related to are actually that rectangle that I created in the very beginning. So I kind of wrecked the dependencies of that rectangle. So it's not so important because for this particular design, because it's a very simple design, but you may be concerned about it later if this was a very complex design with ripples and waves and stress dependencies, because you may want to keep some of those dependencies to be able to make your design interactive with future updates. So I'm going to go ahead and blow away this design. We're going to go ahead and create a completely brand new design. So I'm going to show you a second way to go through that. Again, we're using the orbiter here in the right-hand corner to rotate to the top. We then construct an offset plane. We then select this plane, and I don't need it to be offset, so I go ahead and press return on the 0 millimeter dimension. I select the plane, this new plane that we've created, and create a sketch on it. So this time, we're going to go through and make everything not ruin any dependencies. Let's put it that way. So we know that the long edge, let's see, we know that the width is, and we're just going to use lines this time. So the width is 8.8 here. We're going to scroll in so it's a little bit bigger. And we know that the length is 12.3. We know that this line will be 12.3. And again, we can utilize the fact that Autodesk Fusion 360 allows you to use calculations as measurements. So 12.3 minus that notch, which was 1.65. There we go. And moving down from the top corner, we do 8.8 minus the 1.65. Okay. And then we just do the final line. And you can see here in this sketch that all of the lines are in black, and none of them are in that light blue, indicating that we ruined a dependency. So As I said before, it doesn't matter so much if you if you're just making a simple object that's not very complex. It doesn't matter so much if you ruin the dependency, but you will care about that later as you advance more through your skills in Autodesk Fusion 360. So the next thing that we're going to do is fillet all of the corners. Fillet. Please forgive my pronunciation. Okay, so we just need to select all of these corners here. There we go. So you just hover above the point until you see the red arc and then select it. And then we know that all of the corners need to be a radius 0.8. So we enter that in and voila, voila. All of those, although it looks like these ones are not, says it is, but I think when we enlarge it, we'll actually see that those are. Okay, so we're done with our sketch. And so we finish we click finish sketch. And now we are in the plane and we're going to go ahead and rotate this plane. And the way that I'm doing that, because you saw that I didn't rotate it here, although this is a good way, let's go back. So we're in the top here and I really want to see this from the edge. So I could press down and it shows me from the side, but that really doesn't give me a lot of information. So instead, I'm going to go back to the top and I'm just going to click on this orbiter edge, not on the arrow, but the edge right above it. And this gives me kind of an angled view of my object. This is really useful for when you need to extrude. So we're going to extrude this, and I have the measurements for the thickness, and they're standard. It's a 0.67 millimeters. So we're going to enter that in, 0.67 millimeters. And here we have our nifty new SIM card. And this will be very useful to use to build tools around it. So whether you're making a SIM card wallet to store all of your SIM cards in, or you're making a SIM card tray, you will need this as the base of your design. And you can see here that we were able to curve these corners. The recommended, or the specification, which was
a specified amount, which was 0.8 millimeters. Okay, so that is our kind of our little tutorial for today. And Teresa, do you mind switching off of the, I guess I can stop sharing the screen from here. There we go. And so we printed them out. We have two, let me see if I can show them.
Here, I'm going to try
SIM
you
cards.
there. Yeah,
Here.
they can see what
So this is our 3D build plate, and we'll show it one more time just to get it. Yep. Okay. So, and they were off centered, so that's why it kind of doesn't. It's not a complete or it's not a rigid rectangle. One was a little bit higher than the other. You can see one's a little bit higher than the other. So that's why it looks a little cattywampus. But when you're just doing things fast or things around the house, you know, it doesn't matter. So here we go. So I'm just going to take this off the build plate. Maybe not. It's a really small device. Okay, I'm going to use my SIM card to get the SIM card off. There we go. A little bit too much hairspray. All right. So there we have it. We have our little SIM card. So again, I know this isn't useful now, but having the measurements in Autodesk Fusion 360 is very useful to build around later. So it's great that we built it around, that we built this today. tray so that next week we can focus on making a Amazon card tray for the cell phone that we know and love, the Circle phone. So speaking of the Circle phone, we have I have the Circle phone right here, and I'm just trying to get to the here we go, the picture. So we have a picture here that we featured this week
on our Circle phone. It's just one of many images that we have on the. I guess I was just featuring the picture today, but we have other things on the Circle phone besides just pictures. It's not just a picture frame. So as you can see, you have all your apps here that you can scroll through and open. Let's go ahead and open one here. We have the Snapdragon camera right here, so you can see that you can take a picture if you want. A little selfie of the window. So a little peek of my my neighborhood outside. So we are running a contest on My Mini Factory to design your own enclosure for the Circle phone. So right now we just have kind of a base enclosure that's protected it for us for since CES 2020 in January of this year. So we just kind of slapped together a design so that people could actually hold the device without ruining the components inside, so that you could interact with the screen itself and kind of operate all the different. Sorry, this is like the clock and things like that. So you can also navigate to web pages and stuff, but it involves typing, and that's longer than we have here. So the exciting part is that we decided to launch a contest to design your own enclosure for the Circle phone on My Mini Factory. And we've been getting tons of submissions. It's been fantastic. So I feel like we go online every single day and there's a new submission. So we have over, I think, 29 submissions so far. We may have over 30 submissions so far. And we've been going for not even 30 days yet. So Teresa, I was wondering if can you please show us some of the submissions that we have so far from your side?
Oh, absolutely.
Great.
Let me just grab it. Oh, here we are.
Thank you. Yay! So, and some of these are absolutely breathtaking. So, one of the ones that we've been kind of standing about this past week has been the Pearl. I actually looked more at the Survival multiphone yesterday as well, and because of that, it actually has like little bits inside of it. It has little tools inside of it. It even has a leveler inside of it. In one of the images, you can see it's really useful. And Florian, he designed it for people to actually bring this phone at the job site for construction, so that you have all the tools that you need there, as well as the phone. So really useful device there. I love what he did and how he added all of the features to the phone. One of my favorite designs in the contest. Thank you for showing us all those images.
Of course, of course.
And
this one's new.
There's also
today.
Yes. Yeah, you want to talk about that one?
Sure. Well, and then grab the flower photo, which is always fun to have folks incorporate.
Because we just released that last week, so just like 4 days ago. So it was great that he grabbed that photo and incorporated it into his design. It's so fabulous.
Let's see, and just for fun, and what's neat about this contest, and besides the design of custom phone case and all of that, as an additional interactive piece, everybody can go in and look at all of the submissions. right at the top of the contest page, there's submit your design and then view all entries. So you can come in here and take a peek at what people are up to, which is just an additional fun, more interaction that you can have with us.
So complex. It's more kind of an architectural design that he submitted here, and I love it. I absolutely love it. The work that he put into it is really cool.
Was there any other specific ones, or just want to just keep scrolling?
Could you scroll? I actually like this shell phone. Do you mind if we pause on the shell phone?
Yeah. Oh, right there, right in front of my nose. Yeah, of course.
So I love this because if you scroll down Patrick's description, he goes, "Bam! What the shell was that?" It was so. I mean, like, people are really having fun with this, and not only, do you mind clicking on the picture of the shell itself, because it should pop out into full screen. Thank you. So what I really loved about this design was not only was he creative in designing the back of the phone, this is actually the back of the phone, and it has kind of a pop socket feature on the back that can kind of pull out, and you can rest it so that it's easy to set the phone up on its edge or hold it in the hand. The curves of the shell really align well in the hand. But furthermore, Teresa, do you mind clicking on the right arrow and left arrow? He 3D printed this to demonstrate exactly how the design functions. And I really, really like what I believe his name is Patrick did here. Very few contestants have actually gone to the length of 3D printing their design and demonstrating it kind of in real life. So we've only had about 3 or maybe 4 submissions like that. And I was really impressed with the submission, what he did here. I love how the piece of the shell actually pops out and creates a stand. And I love how it fits in the hand. He really did a nice job here.
Yeah, and what is amazing, as Christina was saying, is that he was able to 3D print. For those who do not yet have a 3D printer, guess what you can win in this contest? You can win a 3D printer. So just because you don't have one right now, go ahead and submit, because there are 3 ways that you can win, which means there are 3 chances for you to win your own 3D printer. So don't think that it's a requirement right now. Part of what we're looking for is to invite more new people into this this field and this space. Join us and maybe get a 3D printer along the way.
It's so cool. Thank you, Patrick, for this design. It was just really, really innovative. Do you mind if we go back? I think there's one towards the bottom that I would like to be cool if we just cover 3 today. So, so I kind of want to cover this longer one here. It's called the new Cyrcle phone. Yes, please, thank you. And I think we're going to cover 4 today, because I also want to call out my friend Tim's design. So this one's by David Gensel, and David Gensel elongated the design. So this was kind of interesting because the display itself is quite large, and then he made it even longer. So it's kind of almost like a handle, I guess, in the hand. Kind of amalgamation between the rectangular phone and the circle phone, so making it, you know, kind of longer but rounded at the top. And but more than that, and we can go through his design in a second, his description was really just spot on. I really liked it. You know, he said kind of over the past 200 years, the phone has evolved constantly from the telegraph to the rotary phone to the landline to the first portable phone and finally to the common cell phone. However, since 2007, the modern cell phone really hasn't changed very much. So, and he goes on and he just really captured kind of the essence of what we're going for at the Cyrcle phone company. So I really appreciated him just kind of spelling it out verbally there. And then if you don't mind, if we could just briefly go through kind of the front and back of the design. Thank you, Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the front, and then he didn't change the top or the sides too much. Trying to remember if, yep, we've altered the buttons several times on our design, so I always have to remember like which design I submitted for people to look at for the buttons. But the back of it was kind of cool. I love how he made the divot around the camera and also rounded the back of the phone so that it does have more circular detailing on the back. So very cool submission. Thank you for going over that, Teresa. I really appreciate it. And then can we please highlight Tim's,
Of
because
course.
he's longtime friend since like middle school.
Which
Yeah,
one?
it's the red one. The red one with the red and the yellow. And he 3D printed his design as well. Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, there we are. Uh-huh.
So he rotated and centered the battery, which was cool. He also featured the speakers. So it's a little bit, so this is emulative of his logo. So for the Drunken Scotsman Developmental Engineering Labs. So his logo's up there in the right-hand corner. And so he just kind of mimicked that a little bit towards the bottom edge, and that was kind of fun. It stands up very well. Using kind of those gear edges on the bottom there. Do you mind paging through some of the pictures, please? Thank you. So you can really get a sense of, he worked on the interior design. Not very many of the designers are concentrating on the interior of the design. And that's actually probably one of the easiest ways that you can ruin a 3D printer, because so few designers have actually covered the interior, the design, and that is one of the categories for winning the 3D printer. So not only did he function on the holes for the screws, but he used the screws in the final design. Here it is 3D printed, and just lovely. I love the bronze, especially in that previous photo, but actually, can we go back one photo, please? Thank you. So you can see here, the dots above the camera on the back, and the dots above the left, yes, the left screw as well, and there's the one dot near the right screw, and that's the microphone. So you can see the holes for the speaker at the top, and the holes for the speaker at the bottom, and the hole for the microphone. And the reason why those speakers are there right now, that was actually the way that I submitted the design for the contest for people to build around. You're welcome to actually move the speakers around. Tim, as we can see here, just left them where they were currently, but you can pipe it out any way that you want. And the speakers are actually on long wires, so you can actually move those around pretty easily. Thank you for forwarding through there. So you can see the interior, the design, and how it can actually stand up. I love how those two pieces fit together really well. That's something that I've personally struggled with in kind of slapping together our temporary enclosure for our phone. And just he did an excellent job on this. So, and I really appreciated that he took the time to submit his design as well. I know everybody is busy, and I know Tim is busy as well. So thank you everyone for submitting entries into our contest so far. We have the last week left. We're expecting many more designs to come rolling in because we've heard from many people who are still working on their designs and have yet to submit them. So thank you, Teresa, for going through all those. I really appreciate you and my mini factory for hosting our contest. So it's been a fabulous experience. And I just want to cry, you know, like seeing how each person is putting their individual spin on the interior components that we've submitted. It's just, it's really exciting to see where people are taking it. So thank you.
Definitely. So let's see. I don't see any comments or questions. So I think at this point we will say thank you for watching. We're really glad you're here. And for those who are watching this non-live, you know, a little bit later, thank you. And you can also send us questions or comments here. Just because you weren't live in the moment, you are so welcome to get in touch and to engage. So all are always welcome. So, but for now,
Definitely.
have a good day. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you.